Dokkan Festival Gamma 1 and 2, the first summonable units from Dragon Ball Super Superhero, finally in game, and I know many of you are asking the question, should I summon for these two units? Today I'm going to go over the advantages and disadvantages to potentially summoning on this banner, and giving you the best overall advice, and generally leave you up to make your decision from there. But let's hop right into it. It is Minato here, and of course at 59 Gaming, we are making all kinds of very epic content, so if you haven't already, feel free to like the video and subscribe. Let's hop right into it.
Hold it!
Alright, post-recording Minato here. One thing I actually did want to mention is the fact that we also have not only the Dragon Ball Heroes banner upcoming very soon at the end of November, but we also have the New Year's Step Up banner. Now those are two very important banners to consider as well, that also have pretty high value. So the Heroes banner, we will know the units within the next day or so keep in tune for that. That banner does have guaranteed featured SSRs, we just don't know the exact units that could be on that banner. New Year's Step Up, it will differ between JP and Global. On this screen, we'll give you an example of what the banners look like on each version. JP for sure, I remember it went up to Pan. JP went up to Super Vegeta, so this year should go up to Pan. It could be similar on the Global version. We just have to wait and see how they're going to look like, but because of that, we're not obviously able to go into the specifics. Just wanted to insert this here, and let's continue on with the video. So, of course, Gamma 1 and 2, very strong units, just purely performance-wise. I think many people do agree that they're at least top 3 Dokkan Festival TURs. Them, and then the new Dokkan Festival Kid Goku on the Japanese version as well. So, these 3 units are incoming fast. On October 27th, Gamma 1 and 2 officially do drop on the global version of the game. And I'd say overall, if we're just going to talk about their banner specifically, which I think is the most important thing to cover here, their banner is quite solid, right? I wouldn't say it's anything special, but you do have some nice options here. So obviously the two Gamma 1 and 2 Dokkan Fest, very strong units. They're on this, just like I said. The tech androids have an amazing Go Slasher ability, nullification. They work really well on the Gamma 2's android team, I found. And overall, just a strong units. Even though they're already reaching a years old, at least if we go by their JP release date, they still are a very powerful option in many difficult forms of content, such as even Cell Max, Red Zone Broly, and etc. We have Tech Ultimate Gohan himself. He is the unit that just hasn't aged at all. People love this unit, and whilst I do agree, at times people could overrate him as well, he's still at the very least a very useful option for difficult content as well. Guarding and stacking just work really well together. Now the last 3 units on the banner are pretty much studs. AGL 13, Physical Piccolo, and then Dragon Ball Super Broly. Usually the last 3 of the banner, and every banner recently that has been coming out, are just kind of dead units that you're not going to use. However, all 3 of these units are upcoming on their EZAs, so they're not complete duds. In the future, you may be able to find use with getting extra dupes for these guys, especially Physical Piccolo, who could really EZA if we get, of course, say Orange Piccolo as a Dokkan Festival. I'd say he'd be a prime candidate, so keep your lookout there. But regardless, 4 out of 7 units being very viable in today's current difficult content is an important thing to consider, because I feel like many banners may only reach at most even just the first 2 units. So overall, this banner gets a good 7, 8 out of 10, right? So if you really want to summon, this is probably your best chance to get them together. Of course, they are a package deal. You really want to use them side by side, which is a very important thing to consider. Now, of course, a second thing to consider would be upcoming banners that are coming onto the global version of the game. So we'll go one by one in terms of release order and how they came out on JP and what kind of units we're waiting next. So the Resurrection F Blue Goku / Vegeta units, they came out all the way at the end of May for the JP version of the game, and this unit could still be pretty good in the right circumstances. However, of course, as they are at this point a couple months old, and in my opinion they weren't really that spectacular, like mega top that you are when they came out, I feel like they may be, unfortunately, like by the time they come out in February or something, even January, we have units of a new higher tier. I feel like people agree with the Gammas and Kid Goku, so you have to keep that in mind. The new banner unit Jacko could be very useful as well, but he's not necessarily doing anything special. He's just a dodging unit. Looking at the rest of the banner, as it appeared on JP, tech androids are already on the Gamma banner, so that's something to consider. You know, if you're gonna summon for the Gammas, this, you know, banner, the tech androids, which is the main pool for this one, is just kind of not there anymore. S tier Super Vegeta has definitely aged out because we're moving more towards red zone, you know, unstunnable events, right? This guy is a super battle road unit. Physical Frieza, we got a 200% recently. He's okay, but he's really just a stacking unit at this point for certain events. Physical Beerus and S tier Jiren have aged out, but S tier Jiren is also upcoming on an EZA. Overall, this banner just not really worth summoning on. There probably won't be discounts, maybe tickets that you could buy, but it's not worth summoning on this banner in my opinion. Next we have LR Golden Frieza. Now this is an interesting banner because I feel LR Golden Frieza is a very, very important unit for the Final Form Cooler team. So if many of you guys are like Wicked Bloodline mains, movie bosses mains, and you really like using LR Final Form Cooler, I wouldn't blame you if you want to summon on this banner. But the issue is not really him, it's the rest of the banner. If we just look at the pool of units, really no one here is actually going to be useful except for the AGL Golden Frieza. I mean, maybe in certain spots you could use the third form Frieza. He'll be solid as a support unit, but really everyone else, like Frieza in 17, Tech Angel Frieza, right? You're just not going to use these units. It is a legendary summon banner, and I usually do advise to skip them. But if you're going to be using the cooler team a lot and you're fine with kind of moving forward from superhero units and focusing on that instead, I completely get that. We also have upcoming the LR Vegeta and Trunks banner. Now this is a big one people have been waiting for. This unit is really, really good. A lot of people do consider this unit as the best in the game, even up there with Cooler, Carnival Goku. However, this banner also is kind of doo-doo, right? We have Kel and Caulifla, useful in some situations, but they're not really anything spectacular, right? They're mostly just for the heal and the dodging. Tech Gogeta, I feel like a lot of people are souring a little on this unit. Their Scouter could be helpful, but that's again also all they're really for. Goten and Trunks just don't really have a partner for them to really be maxed power, you know, how they want to be utilized. And the rest of the banner, I'm not even gonna worth mentioning them. Just no. And then at most, Goten and Gohan are closing on an easy maybe in Goku Black, right? But no, this banner is just pretty bad. So another situation of the unit's really good, but the banner itself is pretty bad, just like the LR Golden Frieza. In this situation, it may be better to just straight up skip this banner. And then there's a second banner I'll talk about, but Saiyan Day does usually return this unit on both versions, the Tanabata unit on JP. So it is very likely you will be able to grab them with coins. That may be the best option if you're a free-to-play player, again, trying to figure out where to summon. Now, we have the actual Tanabata banner itself, which would be the Christmas banner, that do return the Year 7 LRs, Super Saiyan 4s, and the Super Saiyan Gods. That banner could be interesting because on, you know, even on JP, but the global version as well, I believe it had tickets and at the 3+1, right, this banner last year. So it is very likely that you can get the 7th anniversary units and this unit, you know, and a couple of multis, right? So I wouldn't blame you if you want to throw a couple of stones. But again, the banner itself, it has, what, 20 featured units? There's just a very, very large pool. And because that's going to be extremely difficult to get those units specifically if you're aiming for like 1 or 2 units. So especially if you want to manage your stones properly, it would also be best to probably skip this one, but there are some pretty good gems in here at the very least that could help you in difficult content depending on what your box needs. After that, the Fusion Zamasu banner, we're not sure when exactly that's going to come in JP. I'm just going to say skip it, right? The banner itself, like, besides Fusion Zamasu, it's just all bad. No one is really going to be useful here. Maybe, again, niche situations. Fusion Zamasu himself is good, but I think he needs a team, a proper team to be ran on. Just like the, you know, S-Terra Rose, the EZA Goku Black and Zamasu, right? Once they get a team, it'll be a lot better, but as of now, just definitely no. I'm not even going to waste more time on that, I feel. After that, we have Dokkan Fest Kid Goku, and that should be the last banner that is known about on the global version at the very least. Also, this banner is a skip. It returns Physical Raditz. You guys excited for that boy to return? Esther, Videl, Esther, Bojack, Beerus, and Turles. It's like, no. Even Turles, he could be good, but he just doesn't have a partner to really make him full power. And unfortunately, he just doesn't have any super class difficult bosses to also get his full passive. Kid Goku and Android are very, very strong units. But again, managing your stones properly, just no. So, yeah, that's why, honestly, the Gamma banner, just really looking at everything upcoming, could be a really good, strong banner to summon on compared to everything else. However, one last thing I do want to leave off with is usually these like collab kind of first time units do return very quickly. We saw Physical Goku Black return the literal next month after his Dokkan Festival on Aegir Rose's banner, right? Physical Vegeta Blue returned a month later. That Trunks and Zamasu that were on a banner together, they returned a month, at most 3 months after their debut. Because the anime going on, they want to make sure they keep these characters fresh and will throw it in your face. So they may very well return very quickly, but that's not really a for sure thing. We'll have to see. Like, let's say Superhero is New Year's, then these units could return very quickly in both versions within the next 3 months, 4 months. If it's, say, Superhero Anniversary, then these Gamma units may even return next anniversary in the global version. Unfortunately, in that situation, it's hard to tell when they'll come back. So if you want to be completely safe, it is definitely not the worst option to go on this, and I can't blame you for summoning on Dragon Ball Super Superhero, but let me know what you guys think if you're going to summon or not. We see the performances of the units. Again, very, very strong, so thank you for watching to the end. Again, feel free to like, share, subscribe if you did enjoy the video, and keep up with all the 5-9 gaming content by hitting that notification bell as well. We'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.